What the heck is going on, guys? Welcome to the fourth tutorial of WPF. In this tutorial, I'm gonna introduce you with WPF controls in 2 minutes. So let's begin. Let me tell you first what the heck is WPF controls. You must have played around the controls in Windows form like the label, text box, grid view and all that kind of good stuff. They are present in WPF controls, and there are various controls, various awesome controls, feature rich controls in WPF. So you're gonna have fun learning them. Let's talk about the types of control in WPF. Basically there are a lot of controls in WPF, but they are generally subdivided into 3 categories. The first is the layout control, which basically deals with the user interface of your application. They are used to create great user interface of your application. And the second is the item controls, which are basically the list based controls. They contains multiple child nodes and like the list view and all that kind of controls. The third is the individual and content controls. These are the controls which has some individual purpose of its own. They do some specific things, like the text blocks control shows some tags and all that kind of stuffs. Let's take a quick look at layout controls. There are many layout controls, and as I told you that these are used to create the user interface of your application. So first control I'm gonna talk about is the grid panel. Basically it is used to create a tabular structure. The second is the uniform grid control. This is very limited control and we don't use it generally. It can adjust the rows and columns automatically. The third control is the stack panel. It is a simple layout and one of the mostly used control. It can arrange the content of it in vertical fashion. The next one is the wrap panel control. This is the similar control as the stack panel, but it wraps data horizontally. That means that it arrange the content of it in horizontal wrap data or kind of that. The next one is the dock panel. You must have seen the controls placed at the lower left corner or upper right corner or anywhere on the corners and all that kind of stuff. This kind of cool stuffs you're gonna do with the dock panel. The last one is the canvas control. This control has no default logic. You can position your controls anywhere on the canvas. Don't bother about it right now. We're gonna learn each and every control in details in next couple of tutorials. Now we're gonna have a quick look at the item controls. So basically these are controls which are list based. It contains multiple child items. The first one is the list box control. It displays the list of item. You must have seen the list of item, and it allows multiple selection and all that kind of cool stuff. The second is the combo box control. It displays the list of items and allow single or custom selections. The next control is the tree view control. It displays the hierarchical data. So if you have some hierarchical data, then you can use the tree view control. The next control is the menu control. It displays list of controls that are hooked with commands. You can bind some commands with these menu controls and they will do some magic in your application. The next control is the context menu control. You must have seen this control. When you right click on anywhere on the application, the menu pops up which is called the context menu. And the last one is the toolbar control. Basically it is the similar kind of control you have seen in the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, the ribbon bar and all that kind of controls you can create with the toolbar controls. Now it's time to explain the individual and content control types. I don't think I need to explain this control because you must have seen this control, used this control and played around it. So the first control is the label control. It is the simplest WPF control and you can display any text on the label control, and even you can bind it with some other controls. They are basically called mnemonic support. We will discuss this later in the series. This next is the button control. It allows a user to click to make a choice. The next is the checkbox control. It allows the user to select from the options. The next control is the radio button control. You can select one from groups of options. The next control is the text box control. It just displays the text, nothing else. The next one is the image control. It shows the image. The next one is the text box control. To edit and display the text, you can use the text box you must have used somewhere in your life. And setting tab order. This control is basically used to set the tab index of any control and all that kind of cool stuffs. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. I know it was quick, but don't bother about it because I'm gonna explain each and every control in details later in this series. So stick with the series and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.